What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. Yesterday we got a crazy shams bomb on Twitter that apparently a team in the Western Conference is looking to trade up in the draft to potentially select Scoot Henderson, which would be at pick 2 or 3, and it was the New Orleans Pelicans. And you might be wondering with that report, why aren't we doing a Scoot Henderson Pelicans rebuild then? Well, just because I'll explain that in a second, but today I want to break the internet a little bit because this definitely would. I want to put Zion and Lamelo together in Charlotte, so today we will be doing a Zion Williamson Charlotte Hornets rebuild. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you are new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. YouTube tells me that 63% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you do fall into that 6%, want to change that, that would be awesome. So a couple things I want to just note off the top. So I should be doing a Miami Heat offseason rebuild today, but I decided I literally just did a Damian Lillard Heat rebuild like 3 days ago. So that's what Miami Heat would, or that's what Miami's probably going to look to do, or what Heat fans want anyway. So I didn't see the point of me redoing that again. So if you want to see a Miami Heat offseason rebuild, I did that like 3 days ago. So that is my Heat offseason rebuild for them. And also, I decided not to do a Scoot Henderson Pelicans rebuild or something to do with the Blazers because they're at pick 3 as well. Because I've talked enough about Scoot Henderson, I feel like, and I've talked enough about the Blazers. So I decided, let's do something a little bit different. Zion and Charlotte. And is this going to happen? Absolutely not. Probably not. Not going to happen. This is literally just for fun, so don't take it too seriously. But this is a trade that we did. Gordon Hayward and the third overall pick for Zion Williamson straight up. So basically, it's salary filler, Gordon Hayward salary filler, and the third pick for Zion Williamson straight up. So is this a good trade for either side? No, not really. I mean, Zion just has availability issues, but then again, like, is New Orleans just selling really low on him at this point? Obviously, he's got some off-court things going on right now that we're not going to talk about today. But Charlotte gets Zion with Lamelo. Again, this is not going to happen. This is literally just for fun today, so please don't take it too seriously. But in the draft, we also got Kobe Jones in the second round with James Najee and Sid. So definitely got a few second rounders we're excited about, so welcome in to Charlotte. Player option, LaMelo Ball, Theo Maledon, James Bouknight, McGowens, JT Thor, and Kai Jones. And with all that being said, what I said about Scoot Henderson and Portland earlier, I do get that when I do those videos, they are highly viewed though. So like, they're definitely watched. Don't get me wrong. It just feels like some people just get annoyed with doing the same thing over and over again, which I understand. But hey, if you want to see me do a Scoot Henderson Pelicans rebuild and you're all about that, I won't say no. You just got to let me know down in the comment section below. Regardless, though, free agency, PJ Washington's a free agent, and so is Nick Richards. But one thing I do want to do is I want to trade away Terry Rozier. So obviously, this is a roster with Zion and LaMelo as our big 2, I guess. But we need to fight, and then Mark Williams could definitely, you know, slot in there maybe as a big 3 because he develops really well in 2K. So I'm excited about that. But I want to move on from Rozier. I don't want him to be the starting shooting guard here in Charlotte anymore. So let's trade him away. So when it comes to a Terry Rozier trade, this is a trade that I'm looking at the most. Chicago giving up Patrick Williams for Terry Rozier is definitely questionable. Don't get me wrong. But I guess my thinking for Chicago would be LaMelo Ball is not going to play. They need a point guard potentially. So Rozier for Patrick Williams doesn't make a ton of sense. No, not necessarily. But if I can get Patrick Williams and insert him with LaMelo and Zion, sign me up for that. So Rozier goes to Chicago. We get a young piece and Patrick Williams back in return. I'm cool with that. Patrick Williams is our new starting 3. Zion's our 4. And that looks pretty good to me. So welcome to Charlotte, Patrick Williams. And now we kind of have a, you know, starting small forward we can develop going forward, which I feel really good about. And then the other thing, like I said, I wanted to do is I think I want to re-sign PJ Washington. And I also want to re-sign Nick Richards. I probably won't re-sign Kelly Oubre, I don't think. But if I can get Washington and Nick Richards back, that is going to be something that's important to me. So Nick Richards, I'm definitely going to sign you. You were very good for Charlotte last year, so let's give you a really nice deal to be our center for the future to back up Mark Williams. So that's taken care of. And then PJ Washington, I don't know if I'll commit to him long term, but not losing him for nothing is something losing him for nothing is something I don't want to do. So I'll bring him back. And then other than that, what do we got? So we got Melo Ball and no backup point guard. We got Kobe Jones, Bouknight, and McGowan. So overall, this is all kind of a disaster, the shooting guard spot. I don't really like any of these options to start this year, but I guess if we had to start someone, it'd be Kobe Jones or McGowan's at the 3. We just brought in Patrick Williams, and then Cody Martin's not a bad backup, especially if he can pop like his brother just did. Zion and PJ Washington is fine, and then Williams and Richards is great as well. So the only position I'm definitely worried about a little bit is that shooting guard spot, but I guess we can kind of just roll with it for now. And then free agency, I do want a backup point guard. Javon Carter could make some sense, or we could get a shooting guard here as well if we wanted. But I'm probably gonna go with like a Ty Jerome, I guess. Just get someone at just a body at the very least for our backup point guard spot. And I think that's gonna do it for me. So let's go to player progression and let's see what it's going to look like. So we got Zion up to a 93, Melo up to an 89, Mark Williams is up, and then Patrick Williams is up, which I didn't even notice until now. So we got 2 Williams in the starting lineup and Williamson. So just kind of like the Williams squad here, I guess. Richards, PJ Washington, Martin, and then no one else really. I mean, these 3 guys are going up in overall as well. Don't get me wrong, but let's get in this rotation going into next season. Let's see what we're about to look like. I mean, I feel like this team could be a sneaky playoff team. As we know, Charlotte has been a team that's made the play-in a couple times, but got blown out each time they got there, and they didn't make it this year, obviously. But if we can go from being embarrassed in the play-in those 2 years to being a playoff team in the East, I think that's a good step. So, Melo Ball, they want to start James Bouknight. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but we'll see. Patrick Williams, Zion Williamson, Mark Williams, Nick Richards, PJ Washington, Cody Martin, and Ty Jerome. Feeling pretty good about that. Do I want to start Colby Jones over James Bouknight? I kind of do, to be honest with you. I'm going to start Colby Jones. That's what I'm just going to do, and we're going to roll with that. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if I believe in Bouknight anymore, but shots and indices I wanted to look at. So obviously we know Zion and Melo are going to average a ton of points in this team. I'm going to boost up Patrick Williams just a little bit, just because I want to see him do something here in Charlotte, so we'll take care of that a little bit. And then is there anyone else? I don't think so. I think I'm good with everyone else. So proficiency is a 2.5 pace in space. That is a disaster. So let's change it to a balanced, I guess. So I'm assuming this season, I honestly expect to be a playoff team just because of Zion and Melo alone. But we'll see if we maybe our play-in team. We shall see. Obviously, there's more moves to be made. But I feel pretty good about the start of this rebuild so far. So first season with Lamelo and Zion as a duo, we got Lamelo Ball winning MVP, averaging 29 and 14. Not a really surprise there. We know how good Lamelo is in the simulation. But other than that, I don't think we're going to have anything here. So we get Lamelo Ball making All-NBA first team. I'm assuming Zion will be here as well. No Zion, unfortunately, unless if I just missed him. But yeah, I don't think he's here. So all defense first team and all defensive second team. But if we take a look at where we're at in the playoffs, that is the 5th seed in the East, ladies and gentlemen. So that's a great start to this rebuild. But 28 and 14 from Lamelo, 26 from Zion, 60 for Patrick Williams. So that's really exciting to see as well. Richards with 10 and 8 and a block off the bench. And Mark Williams with 10 and 8 and 2 blocks. So I actually love my center rotation. Williams and Richards is going to be the guys going forward. I don't plan on changing that whatsoever. Washington with 9 off the bench, 8 from Colby Jones as our starting 2. Obviously, I feel like we could use a better shooting guard, but we'll figure that out. Cody Martin with 5 points. He's a fine role player. Will he stay here? We shall see. And then 6 from Ty Jerome. Bouknight, of course, didn't really play. They did want to start him, but I just wasn't about it. Do get to play Philadelphia in round 1. I mean, I don't know if we're going to be able to come out here and beat Philadelphia in round 1, but you never know. We do have the MVP on our team, somebody current round, and we do get a couple games on them, but we're going to a game 6, and we do lose in 6 games to Philadelphia. But that's okay. There's more moves to be made here, so I'm not too worried about it. You're going to have the Lakers and the Celtics, the dream finals that everybody wanted this year, but we didn't get. And you got the Celtics going on to beat the Lakers in 5 with Jaylen Brown as your finals MVP. So in the draft lottery, our pick will convey to the San Antonio Spurs. We do not have a draft pick in this offseason, but Steve Clifford, I'm going to leave him as our head coach, even though I wasn't a fan when they rehired him because they just fired him like a few seasons ago from that. But I'll keep him. We made the playoffs with them. We got a couple games. We'll see how it goes. There's not a ton of good coaches here left or in this offseason anyway. But next offseason, if we're not very good and I go all in for him this year and things aren't just turning around for us, then yeah, we could fire him and go somewhere else. But as far as what we want to do now, we only have a 2nd round pick. I mean, I definitely want to try to upgrade our 2 spot this offseason. I just don't know if we'll be doing that through free agency or the draft. But let's just go straight to player options because it's the last pick in the 2nd round, one of the last picks in the 2nd round. I'm going to accept Kai Jones. I mean, that's a young piece we could throw in a trade if we need to. We got a bunch of young players still. Qualifying offers, Lamelo Ball, Patrick Williams, 2 guys I 1000% want back. Free agency time, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Anthony Davis. I mean, if we go look at the shooting guard market, I'm of course going to have to re-sign Lamelo and Williams first, so let's take care of that. Patrick Williams is going to want an absolute bag, so that's going to be tough to bring him back for that much money, but we'll figure it out. So, Melo, yeah, let's just renounce Lamelo Ball. Why not? 2K, I don't know what you're suggesting. Let's just renounce him. That'd be just literally the stupidest thing on earth, but that's 2K for you. So, Melo Ball, let's give you your bag. Let's just renounce the guy that just won MVP for us. Like, you know, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. So, going to re-sign Lamelo Ball, obviously. Patrick Williams, I don't want to sign her that much money. I would probably give him 25, something like that, but we're gonna have to wait. So if I wanted a shooting guard, it's not coming in free agency. We're gonna have to, because Edwards, yeah, we're gonna have to trade for a shooting guard. So We'll resign Patrick Williams eventually, but we need to turn our attention to upgrading our 2 spot. Kobe Jones is fine, but I don't know if I want to wait on him to keep developing. So let's go see if there's a 2 guard that we can get right now to help us further solidify ourselves as a sneaky contender in the East, I guess. Why don't we just break the internet even further? Tyler Hero on this team with Lamelo and Zion. The media attention around this team would be absolutely insane. Now, let me just go off and say that this video has been far from realistic so far. I feel like every trade that I've done has been like, not maybe super unrealistic, but it just hasn't been very realistic either. So, yeah, that's kind of the theme of today's video, I guess. We're not being the most realistic in the world, but Tyler Hero in Charlotte next to Lamelo and Zion. I mean, again, the media attention would be wild. So Washington, Book Knight, Kobe Jones. Now, why does Miami do this? I got nothing for you. I mean, maybe they just want to dump his contract. I have no idea. But regardless, I'm going to offer my 2025 pick and my 2027 pick. Let's see if they accept this. There's 3 young players that are fine, I guess, and 2 future firsts unprotected. They don't agree to that. Okay, let's see if we can throw maybe 1 more player in here. That moves the needle, and Kai Jones in there. We get Tyler Hero. So just like that, we have a new big 3 of Hero, Lamelo, and Zion Williamson. And then we got Mark Williams, Richards off the bench. We do need to upgrade the bench even further, though, after that trade. So we got some work to do. But Cody Martin will be here as a backup 3. And then we obviously have Richards as a backup center for us, which is great. JT Thor, he's up to a 74 overall. I just don't know if I can rely on him to be my backup power forward this year. I just, obviously traded a big piece of that. But Theo we might have to bring back Theo and Bryce McGowan to be part of this rotation. And hopefully they can just hit development. But Patrick Williams, I'll wait on. I'm going to wait till he's very cheap on the last day unless someone offers him a deal. But McGowan's, I guess I'm giving a deal to. And I'm also giving Theo a deal to be our backup point guard. So hopefully those 2 develop. If they don't, then it's not going to look that great. Regardless, is there anything else we can get? So Williams, of course, we know. And then is there anything else? A backup power forward. You got Jop. Small forwards got Jay Sean Tate, Terrence Davis. We have Cody Martin right now. Luke Kennard's looking like the best backup shooting guard I can get. And it's not too bad. So I'll sign Luke Kennard to be my backup 2. And that should be just all gravy. And then we just need Williams back. But I'm going to wait till day 12 where he's the cheapest that we can get him. So day 12, Patrick Williams. I mean, let's say it's a 25. I tried to offer this earlier. Let's say it's 4 years, 25. What do you say to that? And he does agree. So just like that, Patrick Williams we're bringing back. And if we go look at player progression, you got Zion up to an 80 or 94, Mo up to a 93, and Tyler Hero is up to an 87. Williams is up to an 82, Patrick Williams to be exact. And then Mark Williams is an 80. Luke Kennard is up, Theo is up, JT Thor is up, James Najee is up 3, which is great to see actually. And then McGowan's 75. So the bench might be a little weak, but I think we can upgrade at the deadline if need be. But the new big 3 that we have in town with Hero, Lamelo, and Zion, like I said, the media attention on that team would be absolutely absurd. But if we go take a look at what we can do this next season and see if we could potentially be, I just love the wrong draft class, by the way, but I'll fix that in a second. But if we go look at this rotation going to next season, it's Lamelo, it's Tyler Hero, Patrick Williams, Zion Williamson, Mark Williams, Nick Richards, Luke Kennard, Theo, and Cody Martin. It's not that bad. The bench isn't terrible. I mean, is McGowan's moving to the small forward? I know he goes up in overall, but would he be better than Martin? I don't know. He's the same overall. So we can actually move McGowan to the 3, and he might even take over for Martin. And he is. So McGowan's going to be our backup 3. Theo's our backup point guard right now. I will potentially stop at the deadline to make some changes if need be, but proficiency is 3.5. So you got no excuses, Steve Clifford. We better be a contender in the East. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we are just that. So this year, James Harden gets the MVP award. Booker's Rookie of the Year in Washington. Lonzo's 6th man in Sacramento. Evan Mobley, Defensive Player, also Most Improved. And Clifford is your Coach of the Year at 61 and 21. So, surprise, surprise. You put 3 of the most, overpowered players in the 2K simulation with Hero, Lamelo, and Zion, and it leads to good things. No surprise, obviously. But Lamelo does not make an All-NBA first team this year. We don't get him here either. No Zion either. We do get Zion Lamelo on All-NBA third team. And all if it's first team, I doubt we have any Hornets representatives, but yeah, so none there. But we're the first team in the East. So we went from the 5th seed to the 1st seed and hopefully win a series this year. But 26 from Zion Williamson, 24 and 14 from Lamelo, 22 from Tyler Hero, and then 17 from Patrick Williams, 9.5 from Bryce McGowan's, 9 from Mark Williams, 9 rebounds and 2 blocks, 9 from Luke Kennard, 8 from Richards, and then 6 from Theo Maledon. So here we go. Round 1. Get the Indiana Pacers who have Tyrese Haliburton, Mathurin, Jamie Jaquez, Miles Bridges, Miles Turner, Herb Jones, Anthony Black, and Kenyon Martin. Somebody occur around against the Indiana Pacers, and we are going to beat them in 5. I was a little worried there for a second after they won game 1, but we're good. But now we get Atlanta. Now, as we know, Atlanta is a very tough matchup in 2K. So here we go. Game 1, up 1-0, 103 to 101. Tyler Hero with 22-2. Marcus with 14-7. I mean, Lamelo and Zion scored 13 and we still won the game. That's a good sign in my opinion, but we'll see what happens. Game 2-0, beat them by 1 again. So just barely beating this Atlanta Hawks team, but barely beating them is still beating them. So game 3-0. So far, so good. 3-0 lead. Now, 2K. Do not let me blow a 3-0 lead because I know what you're doing. I know you're trying to butter me up and think we're about to just go on to the conference finals, but then Atlanta's going to come up 3-0 and beat us, aren't they? Here we go. It's starting, isn't it? It's starting, isn't it? Okay, we beat them at 6. I was about to say, man, I was not going to be surprised if we blew a 3-0 lead to Atlanta because that's just my luck, and that's just Atlanta for you. But Cleveland also another tough out in 2K. So Garland, Mitchell, Correll, Mobley, Allen, Malik Monk, really good addition there. Barnes, Dwight Powell, Emmanuel Mudiay. But let's see what happens. Game 1, we're down 1-0. Game 2, down 2-0. Game 3, we do even, hopefully even up in game 4. We do not, down 3-1. And we lose in 5 to Cleveland. So unfortunately for us, we are not going to be able to beat Cleveland in this conference finals as they go on to win the championship. But I believe Donovan Mitchell is a free agent this offseason. So he usually ends up leaving the Cavaliers. So yeah, I have to hope and pray he does. And then we should be back next year and things will be all good. So not going to be too worried about that. So the only thing we need to make sure we do this offseason is re-sign everybody. So the Bulls get the #1 overall pick. Shout out to them for that. So they obviously made the trade with Rozier, and that did not work out at all. It looks like staff signing Steve Clifford. Definitely don't feel like I could fire him. I mean, we lost in the conference finals, and there's some good candidates, so don't be wrong. But I feel like Steve Clifford has earned his keep. I'll keep him around, I guess. So let's go straight to... do we have a draft pick? We do not. So we're going to go straight to player... Oh, yeah, traded for Hero. That's right. Let's go to player options. So player options, once again, let's see if we can keep this continuity together. Ooh! I don't think I ever fixed a draft class. So whatever. We skipped the 2025 draft class. Player options, Mark Williams, Cody Martin. I'm accepting both of them. And then qualifying offers, we have James Najee and Sid. So we'll definitely have interest in bringing them back. But free agency, Giannis is a free agent. JT Thor is a free agent. But yeah, 15 million is not going to happen. I'm sorry. And then is there anything we can bring in right now? So Theo is our backup point guard. I'm not a big fan of that. Luke Kennard is fine, I guess. McGowans and Martin as our 3s. We got Williamson and then Nick Richards. Okay. Let me sign a free agent and let's make a trade for a... Ooh, Caleb Martin. We could bring in the other Martin twin here if we wanted to. And as we know, he was a stud in the conference finals. The NBA finals, not as much. But I'm going to bring him in. Why not? Let's bring him back to Charlotte. So Caleb Martin, welcome to Charlotte. Ooh, Kemba Walker was on our team for a second. Kind of a nice reunion there, I guess. And then I think... I'm going to make a trade to get a better backup point guard because I'm just not confident in Theo right now. And this is perfect. So I'm trading Theo in 2 seconds over to Milwaukee for Jose Alvarado and a second. So we're just basically losing 1 second and then getting a better backup point guard in my opinion. So Luke Kennard will be that backup 2. We got McGowans and Martin, and we got the other Martin twin and then Richard. So I think that's perfect. We can just kind of run it back. And then I also want to see if Donovan Mitchell signs somewhere else, and he signed with the Knicks. So that's a good sign for us. He did not stay in Cleveland. That means Cleveland might turn to less OP, which is good because obviously we're trying to win a championship here. So we go take a look at player progression. Hopefully Mark Williams is up like nicely, and then he's up to an 82. Patrick up to an 84, and then Zion and Lamelo are still up as well, both to a 95. Najee is up even further as well, so I didn't realize he develops that nicely in 2K. McGowan's is up, Kennard is down, and then Martin, and then Sid. So nice progression that we're getting on this team, which I love to see. Regardless, though, we're going into this next season with the expectation of winning a championship. I think that's the expectation that we have on this team. Even though it may not be warranted, it is the expectation we have. I guess I can load the 2025 draft class now since I didn't load it last year. And then we can go into this next season and look at this rotation. So, rotation for this year, Lamelo, Tyler Hero, Patrick Williams, Zion, Mark Williams, Richards. They do have James Najee out there, Jose Alvarado, and then Cody or Caleb Martin. McGowans. Does that make... I don't know if I want to throw Najee in there, though. I'm unfortunately going to have Najee not play because he just, obviously, we don't need 2 backup centers in the rotation, but something like this will fix it, and then we'll go something like that. So, let's summarize this season. Proficiency is a 3.5 balance still, so that's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Hopefully this year we're back to winning 60 games or so, and we're still a top seed as the 1st seed in the East. We didn't win 60 games this year, but we did win 56. So 56-26 on the season, first seed in the East. I decided not to make any changes at the deadline because the team was good, so I didn't really feel the need to change anything. But I'm really hoping that we just win a championship this year. So we get Toronto round 1. They do have Jaylen Brown and also still have Barnes, the Siakam, and then Justin Edwards as well with Vucevic as the center. So definitely a scary potential lineup in Toronto as an AFC to deal with. Hopefully we don't get AFC seeded though. Somebody current round against Toronto, and we are going to win 3 games and beat them in 5. Thank you. And now we get to play Orlando. So Orlando, they got Amen Thompson. I love that pick for them. DeJounte Murray, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, Jakob Poeltl, Jalen Suggs. Yeah, very good team in Orlando. Not gonna lie, that's actually a very intimidating lineup. Jakob Poeltl as their center is definitely looking terrifying, but we'll see what happens. Game 1. We're up 1-0, beat them by 20, 39-18, 28-6 from Tyler Hero, and then 23 from Patrick Williams. Game 2, 2-0. Game 3, 2-1. Game 4, 3-1. Do we beat them in 5? Yes, we do. We're on the conference finals. Now we get to play Boston. So we don't have to deal with Cleveland this time. And we got Oklahoma City and Minnesota on the other side. So Marcus Smart, Quentin Grimes, and then Tatum and Giannis in Boston. So they replace Jaylen Brown with Giannis. I mean, that's definitely really fun, like for sure. And they still have Capella, or they got Capella, I should say. They still have Robert Williams. So very terrifying team in Boston, not gonna lie. But let's see what happens. Game 1, 1-0. We just absolutely obliterated them. That's how OP Zion, Lamelo, and Tyler Hero. And then they didn't have that great of a game. And Boston only scores 86. That's actually insane. Game 2, 2-0. No way we sweep the Celtics, right? Okay, well, 2K, thank you, I guess. I don't get that. But regardless, we get the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals, and they have Shea, Giddey, Ron Holland, Jalen Williams, Chet, Max Lewis, Usman, and then Ware, and then Lindy Waters and KJ Evans. I mean, I feel like that Boston team was a lot more terrifying. Obviously, they had the firepower with Tatum and Giannis, though, and we just swept them. So I would assume we just sweep the Thunder as well. What was that score? 145-133. 2-0, game 3, 3-0, and it's looking like we're about to just absolutely take care of business, and we're going to be champions here. Let's simcast this, and let's watch a celebration together, unless we're going to blow it here, but it's not looking like we're going to. Got the lead nicely, and that will be the end of today's video. So, definitely an interesting one, but again, like I said earlier, I've done a lot of Blazers rebuilds lately, or not a lot necessarily, but they're obviously just kind of the most interesting team this offseason. I know I'm a Blazers fan, so it seems biased, but they have a big decision to make, which is why I've talked about them a lot. And obviously, Scoot Henderson is the guy that could potentially be dangled. So if you guys want to see a Scoot Henderson Pelicans rebuild, even though I feel like I've talked about Scoot Henderson a lot, definitely let me know. I'll do it, but I know some people are going to complain about it. Regardless, can't please everyone. I'll see you on the next video. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.